Brigade wants to welcome our candidates. You will have a 5-minute opening, and then we'll have a 10-minute answer and questions from the audience, and then a 1-minute closing.
Thank you very much for wow, okay, wow, a little further away. A little bigger voice than Katie. My name is Mike Brown. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you to the Brigade for pulling this together. This is amazing, and I actually shared some of what I was doing today with a lady who is involved in Miami County, and when I told her it was the Granny Brigade, she said, ooh, I want to use that name too. So you know, they really like that. My name is Mike Brown. I want to be your Secretary of State. I'm a 6th-generation Kansan. My family settled Leavenworth, Kansas. I went to school. I've never lived anywhere but this state, ever. I've never lived outside of the state of Kansas. I have a long history of a family in the northeast corner of our state, but also scattered across our state. And I graduated from Shawnee Mission Northwest High School. I grew up in Bonner Springs. I was at Kansas State University in my junior year. You're all getting tired of hearing this by now. They might be able to give my speech for me by now. I can give a couple of theirs. So my junior year at K-State, I got a call from my dad. My dad said, hey, my dad's a general contractor. He's 2nd-generation builder. He called and he said, hey, I just sold a bunch of houses and I'm going to have to hire a superintendent and I'm going to put a truck under him and it's your job. If you want it, come on back. And I said, well, hold on, how much does it pay? And he said, now that was the right question, boy. And so he told me how much it paid and I told him I'll see you on Monday, and he said, but not before you stop by and talk to your mom and let her know that you're coming home from school, because I'm not telling her. So I told her, and she was a little disappointed, but all's well that ends well, because less than 10 years later, we were the largest volume home builder, land developer, and realtor in the Kansas City metropolitan area. Not just the Kansas side, but the entire metropolitan area. We were building 200 houses a year. I built over 2,000 structures in my career so far, and I tell you that because it goes to, if you can only imagine building 200 houses a year, what an absolute chaotic mess that must be, you're right. And it does a terrible disservice to cats across the globe to say it's like managing cats, because it's way harder than that. Cats are a lot easier to manage. So I know how to manage people. The Secretary of State's office has a lot of people in it. There's much to manage. There are operations to manage in 105 counties across our great state. It requires a management mindset, and it requires a leader to be your Secretary of State, not just a manager, a leader with management experience and skills, and I'm telling you, I bring that to you. So I served as a past president of the Home Builders Association of Greater Kansas City and served on our national board, and got to know a lot about how the political process, started to understand a lot more about the political process and how it worked. I realized I needed to get involved if I wanted to play a role in the rules that were impacting me as a contractor. So I got involved. From there, I ultimately became a Johnson County commissioner, and before you roll your eyes on the Johnson County part, I promise you I'm a lot more Kansas than I am Johnson County. So just know you're going to hear a lot more about that. So here, I'm going to shorten this down because I just got the 2-minute shepherd hook. So when I am elected, I will be sworn in at the Kansas Capitol. I will walk from the Kansas Capitol when that ceremony is over to my new office. I will sit down at my desk. On my desk are going to be a stack of papers to sign, but the first 2 that are going to get signed will be laying there separately. And the very first one that I sign is, I promise you this, we are removing the ballot drop boxes across our state on day 1. They're gone. And I'll be very proud to make that the first thing. The second thing I will sign is I'm going to immediately sign the paperwork to hire a law enforcement official and an attorney to fulfill the obligation and duty and responsibility of the Secretary of State to prosecutorial authority. That means if an election crime is alleged and it's investigated by my investigation side, it will be prosecuted by my legal team to the fullest extent of the law. If you come to Kansas and you break our election laws, you better sleep with one eye open, because I promise you this, we're coming for you. Do not come here and mess with our elections. The other thing I will immediately begin to work on is I will begin to work with the legislature on day 1 to get the state of Kansas back to elections are over and we are done voting at 7 p.m. on election Tuesday. We're done voting. That's it. All we're doing is counting votes. And 30 seconds, there we go. Yeah, it does. It comes quick. So there's much in the paperwork I handed out. There's a little newspaper piece. If you didn't get one, there's some on the front desk out front. Please take a look. That's a little bit of history about me and where I come from. Some of it you just heard. The push card inside it talks about what I'm going to do. The things you just heard me talk about are the things I promise you, and I mean this. I'm not someone that stands in front of you and says one thing and then goes to Topeka and does something different. I deliver. And I mean it. We're going to do those things, and those things will be accomplished. My name is Mike Brown. Thank you.
Questions?
There has to be some. This is my favorite part. I just did not my favorite part. I hear me do that all the time. That's like number 350. Yes, sir, in the back with a hat. I saw a hand go up.
Will you bring back some of the Kobach era election laws?
So tell me some examples of what you're talking about so we can...
Like with the, you have to have voter identification.
100%. Always. That's why mail balloting is a problem. You don't have to have an ID to do that.
And another question.
Yep.
How will you enforce if the liberal counties in our state, which is 5, do not take their voter boxes away? Will you forcibly remove them?
So let me be perfectly clear and candid about that. 4 counties in our state, the big 4, the most populous, Johnson, Sedgwick, Shawnee, and Wyandotte, the election commissioner that serves in that role is appointed by the Secretary of State. Listen to me clearly. They will comply. They will. They work directly for me, and they will comply. Now, the other 101 counties, they're duly elected. You got county clerks all over the state. A lot of them agree with me. There's probably some that don't. They haven't said that to me, but I'm sure it's opinions. I'm sure somebody somewhere doesn't. At that point, it'll be a sit-down meeting, and we'll have to talk. We're going to have to hash it out. We'll sort it out when we get there. But I'm pretty good at negotiating. 2,000 structures I've built, and I've never been sued. I know how to negotiate, and I know how to sit down and have a hard conversation and come out to a good resolution. Anyone else? Yes, sir.
What about cleaning up the voter registry? Where you don't have dead people voting
So let me run.
out of state.
Great question. In 2020, we had 260 people who were registered to vote over the age of 200 years old. That always makes people giggle. Here's the part where it's not as funny. 216 of them did. Does that mean that Mike Brown thinks that there are 200-year-old people walking into the precinct and strolling themselves in there? No, it does not. But it is absolutely a testament to the mess that our voter rolls are statewide, and I do mean statewide. From your biggest counties to your tiniest counties, they need cleaned up everywhere, and I will appoint a point person with 2 people with that person, and it is their job to contact and go to every county, walk through the statutes, walk through the legal obligations, understand what the scope needs to be, and then help them get their rolls cleaned up. Our county clerks, in statute, the phrase county clerk appears over 1,000 times in duties. I don't think that broadly our voter rolls are a mess because our county clerks want them to be a mess. They've got 1,000 other responsibilities, literally 1,000 other. We can come in and we can help. Not dictatorial, not an iron fist. We can come in, though, hand in hand. How can we help you? Let's get this straightened out for you. So we will start that. And again, that person will be hired on day 1, and the 2 people with them, and they will be in all 105 counties. We're going to get it straightened up. It's going to get scrubbed. Anyone else?
Explain how dead people are able to become anywhere, anytime, as in period, why would that ever happen?
Well, they were on the voter registration roll, and somewhere. How are they on the registration roll? I don't know the answer to that. That's what we're going to go figure out. And then once we figure that out, then we're going to get them cleaned up and we're going to get them off there. Well, I know for a fact that it did. So everyone's entitled to their opinion, and reasonable people certainly can disagree. But I'm telling you, I've seen the proof. There are 260 people registered over the age of 200. Again, that does not mean that I think that people over the age of 200 walked in and voted. It's a testament to the roll is dirty.
Where did you see that information?
I'm happy to share that with you when I'm done here. I'll share that with you. No, it's on the public voter roll. I just got to go look it up. I can't remember what county I saw. It's in counties, though, across Kansas, and it's more heavily concentrated in the more populous counties. It's just how it is. Who else?
This is your time to answer or ask questions, people. Your people calling in the radio
Good.
station wanting to know different answers. You've got candidates up here that are willing to answer them.
Yes, sir.
Just throw it out, every community that has a death, they should automatically check whoever is a registered voter. If they're in their community, is that their name should be stricken immediately from the voting roll.
I agree 100%, and we are going to have to get to a more regimented system of working with death certificates, funeral homes. We've got to figure out how to make sure that that data gets moved so that it is a legal obligation for those entities to make sure that their county clerks know someone is deceased and that they have the legal authority then, based on that, to immediately remove them from the roll. I agree with that 100%. Oh, sorry.
2 elections ago, I went into the county clerk and I asked, is this parent on your list? Is this parent on your list? Can't we ask children of deceased parents to go in and question that and let them know? Here's their death certificate. Take them off.
Did they?
Well, they weren't on the certificate, but I'm asking you, couldn't that be a plea to your voters? And say, hey, you want to take it responsible, you want me to step up to it, go in and ask.
You bring people in, similar to how we do with voting. In that scenario, the way you make sure that everything is above board and legitimate is a family member brings in the death certificate to the county clerk and signs a legal affidavit. They're committing a felony if they're lying, and they're going to get in trouble if they do that. It's going to be ugly for them. So people generally won't do that. When you're signing an affidavit, you're not going to testify to something that's wrong or a lie. So I think that's a reasonable solution right there to help us keep. We've got to get it cleaned up. The biggest problem after that then becomes keeping it cleaned up, not letting it drift off again. Then it becomes a management technique, a management tool, and you've got to have somebody who keeps an eye on it, and that's what this person in my office will be doing. Yes, sir.
What you're saying is good, but isn't a lot of it going to fall on the Attorney General?
Which part are you talking about?
Any part of it, any part of it dealing with the legal aspects.
No, so certainly I will rely on whoever the Attorney General sitting up here is when they're elected. They're in the office directly above what will be my new office, so we're in the same building. We will have to lean on them, clearly. They're an office full of attorneys, so we will lean on them. But when it comes to the investigation and the prosecution of election crimes, it can be prosecuted by one of the 4 following people: the Secretary of State, the Attorney General, your county attorney, or your district attorney. Those are the only 4 people statutorily that can prosecute in Kansas. I want to take care of that responsibility. The Attorney General has a lot of other responsibilities that they're taking care of and watching and managing. To that extent, I want to handle those specific ones. But I'm also not going to be territorial about it. If the Attorney General calls and says, hey, we want to prosecute this one, are you okay? It's yours. Have at it. I just want it prosecuted. I want people who come to our state and break our laws to pay the price for doing it. It is the only way to deter the next person from doing it. That the penalty is strong enough and the prosecution is rigorous enough that they don't try it. Go to another state, try it somewhere else. Don't do it here. We're not accepting of that. I thought I saw the 2 minutes, so I must be down to about 1.5 minutes. I'm running out of time.
As Secretary of State, how can you work with other states like Texas and stuff to help solve our border crisis that is affecting Kansas? And I feel like Kansas should be helping enforce that.
So I would say that from my perspective, I have an opinion, and I'm going to share it with you, but specifically from the Secretary of State's point of view, there's virtually nothing I can do, and I would, if there was something that I'm unaware of, or there's some oomph that I, as the Secretary of State, can put into that to help get that wall built and control this immigration, this standing open front door on our southern border, it's got to be controlled. The willful ignorance of our media and the current administration of the United States of America sitting in that White House on Pennsylvania Avenue makes me mad. It's willful ignorance. They turn a blind eye. Our border's closed, and then they know full well. We have got every 3 months, the same number of people come across our border illegally as the entire Kansas City metropolitan area. That's how many people are free-flowing in here. That's just flat wrong. At this point, we don't have a border, and it's not acceptable. So to that end, if I could help, whatever I could do in my capacity, my official role as the Secretary of State, you better believe I'll be on the front row of that. I just don't know from standing here what it would be. Thank you.
Mike, since you need to
I would love to, if that'd be okay.
Yes.
Great. So I've told you a whole bunch about my history, but I hope in what you heard me say, the things I talked about that I'm going to do as your Secretary of State, in summary, encapsulated is this. It is my sole goal as your Secretary of State for the state of Kansas to be the election integrity gold standard of America. I want the other 49 states to look at the state of Kansas and say, wow, that's incredible. We want to be just like Kansas. That's my goal. That's what I want to do. That is my ultimate goal, is to get us to that point. So I want to be your Secretary of State. I ask for your prayers. I ask for your blessings along the way. There's a lot of Tulane out there. And I ask for your vote. My name is Mike Brown. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor.